Jai Hind students, this is Vivek, your teacher of English, and in today's class we shall discuss a new chapter from Beehive. Let us see this. Children, it is sixth chapter and the title is My Childhood. I must highlight these things. It is a prose from Beehive, and as usual we start the story from vignette so that we may have an insight in the plot and the story, which may help us in getting the things given between the lines in the text. So here the title My Childhood, and it is written by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. You know that he was the 11th president of our country, and he was born on October 15, 1931 in Rameshwaram. You know where Rameshwaram is? It is in Tamil Nadu. Children, he studied physics and aerospace engineering. So these are the important subjects. If you are also interested, please take heed into these two subjects and discover what you can do into it. And he became a scientist then. He served in DRDO and ISRO. You know, children, what DRDO and ISRO stands for? DRDO stands for Defense Research and Development Organization, and ISRO is Indian Space Research Organization. So you have also uh, attended a Cybit 2020, an exhibition in the school recently. So you would be having very nice experience on what DRDO is and what ISRO is and how does the things function there. You were perhaps in the stations which were installed in the schools and would have experienced different missiles and the scientists how they work on, they would be describing there in the exhibition. So you would be having very nice idea how DRDO and ISRO functions. So he there, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam served there for nearly 4 decades, means about 40 years. Okay, he is known as Missile Man of India. This is the biggest line for you children. He is known as the Missile Man of India. Okay, Mr. Kalam was very popular among children. It is the fact, children, that he was very popular among children, and he often encouraged the students, your children, with his high-powered philosophy. And beside this, he was an excellent writer. Okay, as well. Means not only he was a philosopher, but he was also a writer. And we read him in detail in his autobiography, The Wings of Fire. Children, this is the book which sold like hot cake when he had written this autobiography. You can also purchase this and read it. I guarantee that you will be motivated, self-motivated, okay, a lot. Because such a book it is, which has motivated millions so far. So if you want to be one of them, go ahead and purchase this and go through it. And do tell me that you have purchased and read this book. Because many of my students in the past, I have purchased it and read it and told me and shared their experience when they read and what ideas came in their mind regarding their future. So next is, he was a true nationalist. He passed away on July 27th, 2015 due to a cardiac arrest, means chest related issue. Children, you can see the pictures here. This is the figure showing Kalam's childhood. Here, as he became the missile man, he is showing what he had rendered to the nation. He gave a missile, and that is why he became missile man and was accredited with president post. He gave atom bomb to the nation, and that is why he is named Missile Man. It is his discovery because of whom we are one in the world who possess nuclear power. As I told you that he was quite interested in children and regularly visited schools and motivated children. So here this is figure which is showing his association with children, because he thought that children are the future of the nation, and it is fact. You all are future of the nation. This is his picture. Now let us see the theme. Children, here the theme is that the story reflects harmony and prejudice, and it is present in the Indian society. So there are two things which the story highlights prominently. Number one is harmony, and number two is prejudice. Let us understand what is harmony and what is prejudice. Here you can see two figures, children. Harmony is a situation in which people live or work happily together. So here you can see in the figure that students are sitting together, and the resource person or teacher are quite close and frank with them and listening the issues, or means having a very nice talk, friendly talk you can say. Again here the students are sitting together and doing certain activities together. So when you sit together, when you are sharing your things properly to others, having good association and happy with this, so this is harmony. Okay. And next is prejudice, an unfair and unreasonable opinion or feeling, especially when formed without enough thought or knowledge. Means when you are having any opinion for others and you are not having sufficient knowledge or exact or real knowledge or information about the person, that is prejudice. Means you are having fake information or wrong information, and on that basis you are having your opinion about somebody. So that is prejudice. You can see here in the figure how people are ready to revenge. Okay. So this influencing theme is expressed through the accounts of Kalam's childhood. In fact, we can rise in life if we have strong determination and dedication. So this is very important, really extremely important. These two things are very important in this chapter. That means if we can rise in life, rise means here does not mean that you are getting up, means you are aware. Okay, now you have means been awakened, means you are now mature and have got your goal. Okay, so when we rise in life, we have if we have, and if we have strong determination, means if something that you have decided is strong, and that strong is supported with your dedication, so there whatever you do becomes a success. So there are two things in the story which is very important to understand, that if you are having determination and it is supported by dedication, you attain the thing that you look for. Okay. Otherwise, there are many dreams in our mind which we believe or we understand that shall never be a success, because we do not have that amount or that degree of determination and dedication to attain what we look for or wish for. Okay, let us see the important characters, as characters are very important in any story, and so we must have a look on the important characters. Okay, let us see the important characters. APJ Abdul Kalam himself is a character, as the story is from childhood of APJ Abdul Kalam and his three friends. So here his three friends were Ramananda Shastri, Arvindan, and Shiv Prakashan. All three friends are set now. And an orthodox teacher. There was a new teacher who was an orthodox one. And a science teacher, Shiva Subramanyam Iyer, and his wife, she was also an Orthodox. His cousin Samsudeen, his brother-in-law Jalaluddin, his father Janulabdin, his mother Ashiamma. So these names are important because I may ask, okay, any time during this class even, and you will have to write down in the chat box. So be careful that what are these names. Uh, for more 5 seconds more, it will be on the screen, and then I will scroll. So you have a look once again. What are these names and characters? Next is Lakshman Shastri, the high priest, etc. So these are the important characters, children, in the story. Okay. Now I must scroll, and I will ask you some questions on mm, means after some time, and that you will have to write in the chat box. And these questions will be related to the characters. Okay. Next is children summary. Now let us see. And before summarizing the things, I would like to take you Chennai. Okay. Let us have a good round. Chennai here. This is virtual round. In fact, I cannot take you anywhere seriously, they physically, but here virtual. The trip is open to you. Whosoever wish to join, please write down in the chat box if you want to visit Chennai. See here the beach. This is the beach, and this is showing culture and monuments of Chennai, which are quite famous across the world. The road, you know what roads are? You would have read in social science. Roads are lifeline of any place. So if their infrastructure is there, roads will be there as well, which is the link or the connection for the industries or well established city to be connected from one place to another. So that is why it is called lifeline. Next is a nice bridge. How beautiful it is looking. It is on the sea, and this is the temple. This is the temple, children. This is the bridge which can be folded. The same temple is here. It is zoomed out, and this is the stone which is said that um, floats on the water. This is the stone, as it is said that it floats on the water surface and never sinks. So you would have heard in the religious scriptures that when Lord Rama was going to Lanka, there he had got some way made on the ocean bed. So these are such sort of stones they had used in the then time, and some examples are still, and it is the proof that all that is written in the religious scriptures are truth. This is the interior of the temple, the pathway, and here you are with the Madurai temple there in Chennai. I have also taken this route map from my mobile phone, and then I have brought it to you. It is from Google Map from Varanasi. You can see here from Varanasi to Rameshwaram. If you would like to visit there, it will take 2 days and 14 hours. Or you may take some more time during this pandemic if you visit. I would not like to suggest you to visit now. And here this is the area where the temple Rameshwaram is located. You can see here the point red. And this area between India, this is India, and this is Sri Lanka. And this area is called uh, I'm not able to recall that word. I think that it is. If you remember, please write down in the chat box what this is called. This area between India and Pakistan. In Hindi, it is called Jal Damru, or some kind of bridge as they I cannot remember. It is not coming in my mind. No problem. If you remember what this place is called, Jaldamru in English, please write down in the chat box. Let us see next to this is he belonged to a middle class Tamil family. APJ Abdul Kalam belonged to a middle class Tamil family. Children, we have started the lines once again, and the trip to Tamil Nadu is over. Now, please focus here. His father, Janul Abdin, was an austere and religious man. You see, here he was serious. Okay, and if by mistake I misspell anything, please write down in the chat box. In the last class, I uh, read scooter in place of saucer. Nobody could, I think, paid the required amount of heed. Otherwise, I would have corrected it. Or if anything happens like that, please do tell me, because sometime my minds get scattered. So it may happen. All right. So his father was a serious, an austere, and religious man. Okay, his mother Ashiamma was a hospitable lady. Means how she was hospitable lady, because it was said that every day she used to feed people at her house, and in fact it was like a place where people used to visit only to have some food, and she was not taking any penny for that. Means it was free of cost, as it is like a langar in Hindi, it is said, where people used to visit, okay, and get food free of cost. Well, it does not happen anywhere in the world. Like in India, it happens. This langar concept is not anywhere in the world. Okay, so it is only in India. This is the beauty of India. Okay, they lived in their ancestral house on the Mosque Street in Rameshwaram. He had three brothers and one sister. And when the Second World War broke out in 1939, you know very well, children, that in 1939, Second World War had broken out. Abdul Kalam was 8. Abdul Kalam was 8. It means that he was 8 years old. And during that time, there was a sudden demand of tamarind seeds. Okay, tamarind seeds in the market. And Abdul Kalam collected the seeds and sold them to a provision shop for 1 anna. Okay, that time it was 1 anna. It's 1 anna, 1 paisa, 10 paisa, 20 paisa. These things were there, okay, in existence. Now it is not anymore. And for 1 anna, he used to pick up and collect the tamarind seeds, and he used to sell it to the shopkeepers at provision shops. Okay, the general stores, as you visit to find groceries there. So it is called. So he used to get 1 anna in the way, and he also helped his cousin Shamsuddin in catching the bundles of the newspapers dropped from the moving train. Means he was having his cousin. Never, children, never say cousin brother, always say cousin. Okay, so his cousin Shamsuddin uh, was one who offered him to catch the newspaper bundle thrown from the train, because the trains were not stopping at the place, at the stoppage, due to the World War. Okay, so they were bound to throw the newspaper bundles, and then APJ Abdul Kalam was helping his cousin Shamsuddin in picking up and taking to the place where it was hid, and for that he was paid. So this helped him to earn his first wages. Means in the way, by picking up the newspaper bundle thrown at the railway tracks from the moving train, because the train was not stopping, as the stoppages were reduced due to the World War. So the train was getting slow but not stopping. So when the train was getting slow, some of the people were throwing the newspaper bundles, and then APJ Abdul Kalam, the child, was taking it up and putting somewhere, and for that he was paid some money. And Abdul Kalam had three close friends in his childhood. I hope many of you would be having your close friends. Uh, If you are having, please write down in the chat box how many close friends do you have. Only write down in number 1, 2, 3 like that. Okay, don't write the names. And if you will write anything in the chat box that is not required, I would be bound to block you. I'm sorry. Okay, so please take care of this, that do not write anything unnecessarily in the chat box. Otherwise, I would be bound to either uh, cease this way of chatting, or hide your number or block your number. So please be careful and take this in your mind. Keep it in your mind. Next is namely Ramananda Shastri. He was his first friend. Second is Arvindan, and third is Shiv Prakashan. These three friends were his close friends, fast friends, you say. Uh, and all these boys were from Hindu Brahmin families. Okay. And next is, and moreover, Ramananda Shastri, one of his friends, was the son of high priest of the Rameshwaram temple. This is a big thing. Okay, as children, they never felt any difference amongst themselves because of their upbringing. So this is very important thing. The questions may come in the examinations that though they were from different culture and religion, but there were no differences. So the answer will be because of their upbringing. Okay, again the questions may come in the examinations from this line, that who was his cousin. So you will say Shamsuddin, and what sort of job he was doing. So he was doing catching the bundles of the newspaper which were dropped from the moving train by Shamsuddin and other, and for which he was paid. Okay, so these are the important things which may come in the exams. Next is, one day a new teacher came to Kalam's class. So this is important, children. Let me see the time. It is 22. Okay. So next is, children, one day a new teacher came to Kalam's class, and this is what we are discussing now is very important because it always comes in examination. So it is extremely important for you. Okay. So one day a new teacher came to Kalam's class, and Kalam always sat in the front row. So that was the way he used to sit. And next to his friend Ramananda Shastri. Means he used to sit with his friend Ramananda Shastri, and that was the common thing for Kalam. And one day a new teacher came to his class. The new teacher could not tolerate a Hindu priest's son sitting with a Muslim boy. The teacher was having some strange, I do not know what was his mentality, but he did not means could not tolerate this, and for this he said Abdul Kalam was asked to go and sit on the back bench. So that happened there. Really, it is embarrassing if anybody would be asked to go and sit at the back bench unnecessarily. So it would be embarrassing until the child has not done any wrong. All right. So many of you, those who are punished with means in the way, so please write down in the chat box that I am punished in the way. Only write one line. I am punished in the way. Okay. Write only if means it is a genuine thing. Okay. Otherwise, this class is not to make fun. Okay. He felt very sad, and so did Ramananda Shastri. Because Ramananda Shastri's friend FG Abdul Kalam was sent at the back, so definitely Ramananda Shastri would be sad on this. So the weeping image of Ramananda Shastri means when APJ Abdul Kalam was asked by the new teacher to go at the back and sit. So Ramananda Shastri was means having a weeping face, and when Kalam shifted to the last row, a lasting impression on Kalam means when Kalam looked at his friend, he was also sad to see that Ramananda Shastri was also having a weeping face. So that made a last impression on Kalam, that how my friend is having sympathy for me. Okay, so he realized that how big heart Ramananda Shastri had for him. Later, on the intervention means when intervening means when you enter in between to try to resolve the matters. So later on, the intervention on Ramanada's father, the teacher regretted means apologized, felt sorry for his behavior. Okay, There was another teacher, and his name is here written Shiva Subramanya Iyer. In the school, he was a teacher of science, and he was a rebel. Why rebel? Because he used to break the social barriers, and for this he was trying every possible effort. He used to break the social barrier. Okay, and one day he invited APJ Abdul Kalam to his house for a meal, means on dinner, okay, or lunch, you can say. So when it is written for a meal, so it is not clear whether he had invited him for lunch or dinner, just for meal. Okay. So his Orthodox wife, means Siva Subramanya Iyer's Orthodox wife, refused to serve him in her kitchen because APJ Abdul Kalam was a Muslim boy. So Siva Subramanya Iyer's wife refused, said no, I will not serve this child because he is a Muslim boy. So orthodox means one who has means false notions and have narrow minds and mentality. Okay, so she was having that sort of mind. And that day, Iyer served Abdul Kalam with his own hands and sat down beside him to eat his meal. His wife watched him from the kitchen door. Okay, and when Abdul Kalam was leaving the house, Mr. Iyer invited him to join for his dinner again. Okay, so he was asked by his teacher to join him again. Okay, next to this is children, when he visited his house the next week, since his science teacher had called him again. So next week, when Abdul Kalam visited his teacher's house, so Mrs. Iyer, his wife of the science teacher, took Kalam inside her kitchen and served him food with her own hands. So that is the change. See, this is the change shown in the story. Okay, and his science teacher Shiva Subramaniam Swami is responsible for bringing this change, as you have learned here that he was a rebel and he did his best to break social barriers. Here you have learned this. So I think that he would have got success in making his wife understand that there is nothing like that you think about Muslims or other communities. All are one, and he got success. And so his wife understood and treated APJ Abdul Kalam as her child. Okay. When the Second World War was over, Abdul Kalam asked his father's opinion to leave Rameshwaram and study at district headquarters. So this may be a question what APJ Abdul Kalam wanted to visit. Okay, at so he wanted to visit at district headquarters in Rameshwaram. His father agreed, and what happened? His father agreed. Next is knowing that it was important to go for one's growth. Means if you want to grow, he understood that if somebody wants to grow, he has to go outside. Okay, and that was the understanding of his father. We have only few minutes, and we shall, yes, that we can conclude this in this class. Okay, and development, but his mother was hesitant, means mother was hesitating in sending his child out of town, and it happens because mothers are, very soft hearted, and they never want to live without their children. Okay, because they have a lot of sympathy for their children more than anybody in the world. Okay, that is why. So mother was hesitant in sending Abdul Kalam out of town, but father was understood on this, that it is required for higher studies to send the children out of town. So his father convinced her wife, quoting Khalil Gibran. Here Khalil Gibran is a famous writer. Okay, and he said, your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing. Longing means here, life's longing means wishing. Okay. Life's longing for itself. Means what uh, they have in their life. Okay. By God grace, this is the most prominent or important. Okay. rather than what we wish for our children. So that was understood by his father. Okay. Next is, they come through you but not from you. So that is the logic that he put before his wife to make her understand that our children means are our children, and means we have given birth to them, but it does not mean that they will do and they would be having desires in the way we look or we have or we want. So that he tried to uh, make his wife understand in the way. You may give them uh, your love but not your thoughts, he said to his wife. For they have their own thoughts. For they have their own thoughts means here because. So here this preposition for is used as a preposition, and it happens that this preposition can also be used uh, in place of because. For they have their own thoughts. So next is the message, and this is the ending, and then we shall continue in the next class with the text. The message is, this story conveys the message that uh, how to retain communal harmony. Okay, the communal different communities, and how there can be harmony in different community. It also acquaints means introduces us with the childhood of one of the greatest scientists of our time. We also uh, means know about his childhood, but this chapter is telling us something more than that we know. It also brings forth the fact that greatness is achieved with hard work and dedication. So this is all that we have learned: hard work and dedication and determination in this chapter. Children, I hope you would have got everything in this story and what the chapter is all about. So now time is over. That's all. Have a nice day. Thank you.